Just the kind of.
I thought you didn't have good views. Yeah. Sponsor. Backup. It's a pizza cake.
Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing.
Coffee coffee cake. Coffee coffee. I give you HDMI for the camera. Thank you. See you stand up? Yeah. Amazon Basics, all right. Right here, but they're going to do that here? Yeah, but see, it's no good. We don't want to shoot into the sunlight. You're going to get opposite contrast. So right now, just do what you got to do. So you have some blockers.
So this is where they're going to shoot? Go that way. So you're going to be shooting here?
Yes, Catherine.
Okay, do you want that extra plug there then?
What extra plug? No, we're using our plug here.
Well, there's also like an extension.
The wall plug, yes. We have it already, Catherine. Coffee and Coke.
Okay, what are you doing here? You getting the sweets? Let's go one second. I'll get your coffee.
And Coke again, got it. See, we got a candy bar there. Put this to the camera with the candy. Right. In the port front, right? Inside and open the window door. Plug in. Yeah. They might be. I depend on the muscle, especially my shirt sleeve.
Money and white. Did you guys have a good time without me this morning?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Well,
we didn't find lots of sort of your containers full of weird shit.
Yeah, good. You said good. He's not here yet.
Should have just poured it into the grass.
I'm afraid all the food's gone.
So I went on, site, so doesn't develop started kitchen. Okay, let me do the trunk.
Hey, Tom, what's up?
Hey, it's a Papa Daymare here.
Yes, yes, sir.
But unfortunately, the pizza's gone.
We had traffic with the runner. We were out.
Let me talk. Have you talked to Alan?
Yeah, he goes. I'm gonna give a URL for backup because he's gonna do it.
Oh, you're the backup.
Yeah, I'm the backup guy. That's why I don't get any pizza because you're a backup guy.
See, I don't know the primary case about the pizza.
There you go.
So, Alan, you met the Papa Daymare.
Yes.
Yeah, we know each other.
Oh, yes.
Two of the three. Where's
Scissors getting drinks. She's getting the caffeine. We gotta be caffeinated.
She's getting the caffeine for you guys?
For sure.
Are you all adjunct professors here?
Yes, we are.
You're really smart people.
Oh, no, we try. Well, actually, I'm full time. I take it back.
You full time?
Okay, yeah, I'd like to your contract, you know.
Tenure, not
I don't know. I have 1.8 years. We brought on my 7th year next year. About time.
good for you. Okay, here comes your sister.
The lovely Carol Barrow.
Carol Barrow's
Thank
coming.
you. We're just gonna have 2 fees, that's all there is to
Well,
it, right?
I don't know if it's 18 and B team, but about the 18.
Yeah, you the 8,
What's
yeah.
up, girl? You doing all right? I like this shirt and everything.
Hey, thank you. I got one for you.
Oh, hey, definitely always. Large is good news.
Too late for the pizza, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No. We're just glad we got in here because we had to go around with all the cars.
Yeah, the marathon.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we did one on the 13th. Yeah, it was a little rerouting. We had to do a little rerouting, so.
I'm glad we got in. So we had to get back on the expressway, then get off at 31st and come around. We got off at 31st, we could back.
I'm locked into my place, you know, I couldn't get out this morning in the car, I drove and walked over.
So you walked over.
I walked, well, it's 2 blocks, so it's not.
See, Carol, I know the suburbs.
No, is it when I went down to get my lunch, I had to cross traffic, I had to cross the marathon twice.
Listen.
I crossed it twice, it was like fording a river, you know?
Oh, yeah. She's trying to get to next month.
She ran with them.
So she actually ran, she told me.
About
Just getting credit for you.
that, I was planning to do that, I was just gonna run to the corner and then turn right, you know?
I'm just checking the clock, it's okay to cross and loop. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, but that's, I was,
Oh.
I was going down college.
Oh, yeah,
So I'm doing that, and there's a guy on a bike next to me, I'm like, are you gonna do this? He said, yes, and we just like ducked in between, but you can't take your car.
The only thing like people say is shooting that. We're gonna be probably getting let's put their computers, right? See how they look like, yeah.
So,
Property.
Well, I've got that one second time. It's actually, yes, unfortunately, yeah, that's the other way around. We need, you know. No, we've got. Oh, okay.
as long as I, somebody's here.
I'll just put my laptop on that screen for this picture.
We got it. You agree with?
Yes. We're still getting the new setup, so that's going to be a little bit.
The one that you had the virtual tutorials.
We're stood up with into the timer guy. 30 seconds. Okay. I was wondering if this
So the other which one's which?
Pastor Luke.
Hey, you guys, really? What are you doing here? This is unbelievable. You're happy? You're happy? Yeah. Hey.
where? Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to come by one of these days at North Park on Thursday nights for information. That's dinner. Yeah.
Anybody want time?
Yeah, you get email. Yeah. Oh, you are. Yeah.
So that center shots of either before, in front of, or behind.
Thank you. Yeah, so about from 6 to 9:30 or something. So yeah, you come by.
You're filming this?
Yeah, we are actually. Every
We're live streaming it.
Yes, we're streaming it. Oh no.
Okay, sounds good.
But we get that out of the way.
You see the makes a difference first. Okay, microphone now.
You're also going to be exactly. And then, do you want to say anything, or do you just let them introduce Do we have anybody that we're waiting for still in there? Or we need your video crew here to get ready. Okay, so as soon as I Okay, everybody, we're going to get started. Just a reminder, everybody has 5 minutes. Tom is the timer here. He's going to tell you when to start. When you have 1 minute left, he's going to hold up a finger. When you have 10 seconds left, he's going to hold up 10, and then he's going to catch on. In the past, a lot of times he'll hold up his finger, and people aren't ready for it, and they'll think that they're stopping to ask a question. That's not what he's doing. So don't let him kind of startle you by holding up his finger. You just got 1 minute left. Also, one of the things I didn't mention at noon today when I gave a brief overview of what was going on is that, as many of you might know, next door in the Herman Hall Tuesday and Wednesday is the IIT Real-Time Communications Conference and TAD Summit Americas, which are co-located as a single event. And one of the keynotes at that event is Meet the TADHack winners. So people who are pitching this afternoon will get a chance to join Alan on stage as part of the keynote. It's an opportunity for you. We understand that you don't have a lot of advance notice, so you don't have to do it, obviously. But it will get you some great exposure to a pretty influential audience of people in this industry, from throughout the globe. Those are also being live streamed, and so there will be a pretty nice sized audience for it. So we encourage you to do that if you're available. If you're not, then you're not.
Yeah, they should get set up. One other thing, the acoustics aren't great. There is some background noise, so you have to project. Okay, it also helps in terms of the audio as well. So no, be quiet now, guys. Okay.
Speak up. Yeah. So we're waiting for one more to show up.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. So if you can make it to the keynote, it's a great opportunity to meet a great selection of people. We'll have, for example, Tony Amos. He was a founder CEO for Nexmo that sold to a ridiculous amount of money to Vonage. They're in the CPaaS space. He'll be here. There'll be a whole host of other people in the startup space that are successful entrepreneurs. So it's a very useful networking opportunity. Plus, you get to meet a great range of people.
And then one last thing as we're waiting is that when they're done, we're going to call the next team up. We're going to ask these guys to step off to the side. As the next team's setting up, we'll probably have questions from the judge, 1 or 2 questions. We don't have a lot of time for questions. We're going to go immediately to the next team, but it might take them a minute or 2 to set up. While we're doing that, if the judges have a question, they can go ahead and answer. And then we're going to go immediately to the next team.
The props.
Okay, so first up is Team U10s. Watch Tom. He's going to, you let him know when you're ready, and then he'll give you the go sign, okay?
Are you ready?
Yes.
Ready, set, go.
Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Michelle. I'm Jay. And our app is U10. By utilizing Similar's SMS API for client-to-client messaging, VoIP Innovation SMS for server-to-client messaging, TeleSign Score feature to ensure a safe client-to-client connection, and Set and Mobile for a recommendation system, we have created an app that fully integrates these parts into a cohesive diagram. Our inspiration for the app came from one of our English teachers in past years, Mr. Weaver. Last year, during an assembly, Mr. Weaver talked about how health was so important and how his negligence almost led him to die in a fatal heart attack. We took this advice and ran with the idea of promoting physical health and dieting. The main feature of our app stems from taking a picture of food using the Clarify API, and which will try to guess what the food is based on the picture. And then it will confirm with the user whether the food is indeed what the API thought it was. Once the user has confirmed what the food is, we will present the nutrition facts for one serving size of that food using the NutritionX API, which is stored in Firebase. Using these nutritional facts, we also managed to incorporate another feature called the U10 score.
In our app, the U10 score allows for the user to see how healthy his or her diet currently is. To calculate the score, we use an algorithm that puts the essential parts of a diet, such as the fat, sodium, carbs, protein, and calories, and reference that to the recommended daily intake. This user score is very low because there's only one food in the database, and it's not representative of a day's worth of eating. But just imagine if this was a day's worth of eating. A score this low would correspond to a very unhealthy diet. A score from 60 to 75 would be moderately unhealthy, 75 to 90 would be moderately healthy, and 90 to 100 would be a very healthy diet. By utilizing the U10 score, we not only allow for the user to see how healthy his or her diet is, but also allow for the user to plan his or her next step in the diet.
Along with dieting and keeping healthy, we also had another goal in mind, to connect people together. The list you see here is determined based on your food interests. Our matching algorithm takes your food interests and matches it with users that have similar food interests. Along with the matching algorithm, TeleSign Score feature was also used to read out matches and helps sustain connection safely. Once a user signs up, their phone number will be run through the TADHack test to get a corresponding score. If their number validates the user to be unsafe, then U10s will not allow them to communicate with other people. Finally, to start the interaction between users, we use Symlin's API SMS feature, enabling the sending of an interest message from one user to the other with the click of a button.
Along with our ideas of connection and health, we have a feature that recommends users certain restaurants and recipes. We use an API called Spoon Actor, and it traverses through our database, and it will recommend our users with restaurants and recipes. We also use this feature to also link our users with other intent users. So as you can see in our second slide here, this is sent in mobile. We use their feature to link. Use their feature to contact server, and through a recommendation system, the user can also request for changes, and the user can request the app for changes using this feature. And also our main SMS feature, our main communication feature is voice SMS API. And whenever, for example, users intend score changes or they're recommended a new user through our connections, VoIP will send them an SMS, and they will notify them of these changes.
Through Symlin's SMS API, we managed to connect to user-to-user messaging through VoIP innovation with a server-to-client messaging. Using TADHack Score, we ensured safety between connections, and Send and Mobile, we created a recommendation system. And thanks to Mr. Weaver's speech, we find that we truly recognize the importance of healthy living and diet.
Thank you.
We're going to bring Scamrock up next. You guys can move over to the side for a minute. Scamrock, come on up and start setting up. Yeah. While Scamrock is setting up, do the judges have any questions for you guys?
Yeah.
Any questions? These guys will Scamrock is setting up. Again, yell.
Right, so this is the app specifically generalized. If it was like to pasta pasta, it wouldn't generalize to like what's the difference in pasta pasta, it would say pasta pasta. So the user space API is pretty powerful and it has a lot of versatility and all in-depth options. So we kind of need to clarify this technology and the API kind of hand in hand. So even if we don't have solutions, we can
Any other questions for these guys?
Now, I feel like working for Google.
Oh, yeah.
How's your recording?
It's good.
Oh,
you have? Okay, I'll get.
Recording, I'll send that as a backup. All right. Make sure to do the speaker up.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him to do that.
Missing my shot. extension cord. Here. What this is, like this, and this
Yeah, we did do a switch one.
that's the thing, back out that. Yeah. Put that one here. Or you can select what's so much here. Yeah. Isn't that something? Small world.
So right next to the
Right into this, right?
She did a shot at the place. I will, yeah, later. Organization that kind of runs this place. Let me check. Tell them to speak up. A lot of noise. This is not a conversation. I didn't even get a direction of my, yeah. Walks out, party. For a living. You just look quick when you try to. You're weirded out, man. And then.
With this contract, everybody is just.
Yeah, just
right and then one down.
You got about an end up
So when it's like.
It's good. I'm gonna tell everybody to speak it up.
They're going to yell.
Why? So,
Yes. I will talk very loud.
You can tell her shut your mouth. Everybody can speak up loud enough.
We dropped the fraud abroad.
Yeah.
Guys ready to roll? Yes. Okay. A few people have mentioned this. So project as loud as you can, a little bit louder. When you're ready, signal Tom, and then Tom will signal you to go.
Are you ready?
Yes. Make sure we speak loud. Everybody loud. Thank you.
Ready, set,
Right on the set.
go!
Hi guys, we are ScamDrop and we are a service to help your business grow and develop while avoiding those pesky frauds on a day-to-day basis. Let's go. Yeah, now I'm going to introduce Tim. Tim owns a popular electronics store on a medium-sized scale. He has call center employees who deal with a large volume of calls on a day-to-day basis. What are the problems that he has? His biggest problem is that he cannot differentiate between real customers and fake calls, frauds, and then when his sales people call others, they cannot make an ideal decision on whether the issue is they're calling a real customer, or they're calling someone who could possibly help grow their business by taking orders, or they're just calling people who waste their time. Now, another problem is that there is a distinct 113% increase in call center fraud, and that's just between 2015 and 2016. VoIP methods comprise of 45% of these frauds. So that's almost half. We are here to help them solve that issue. Tim made a great decision. He hired us to solve that issue. Let's see how we do that. Right? These are our solutions and features. We'll start with fraud prevention. Our first key goal is when an incoming call comes, and we first see whether the call is real or fake, whether the call is a known scammer or a known possible fraud or not. So we will take the incoming number and run it through a database of known scammers, known fraud artists, and known suspicious calls, and known calls where they waste the call center user's time. And then if it hits any of those check marks, we immediately drop the call and send our user on to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Now, this is in real time. So there will be a system that runs in the background while our users make the calls. So this way, If they optimize in real time, with feedback in real time, they'll be able to cut that and move on efficiently in real time. Let's go on. Now, another benefit that we offer here is that we group and give him where his customers live, so that he will be able to expand his business and his services in those areas to help grow his business and make profits. Now,
right. So basically, we have a prediction. We'll to know when we'll drop the calls. So using a machine learning model, we analyze the previous data the previous calls that were processed in the system, and using that information, we'll know when to drop a call. So I'm going to quickly show you guys the demo. Okay. So we have a chart here representing the calls that have been dropped. Now these calls could be fraudulent calls outgoing or incoming. So over here we have the live calls that are currently active. There's none. So quickly I'm going to make a quick phone call. And it should drop within 5 seconds. This is just for demonstration purposes. There it is. It automatically dropped. And you'll see over here, in just a minute, it should show up and update on there. Oh yeah, it did, yes. 2201. So now we're gonna show you that there's also a manual feature in which we can manually drop a call. So every time that a call is dropped manually, the database should, will take in that data and it'll improve the machine learning model. Okay, and the post-call recovery, we plan on adding a feature where after a call is dropped for an outgoing, an incoming call, then we'll send them a text message letting them know that their call was dropped.
Now, a lot of the solutions that we have are based on neural network implementation that we'll be implementing in the system. How do we do that? We set up a neural network model and train the model based on his call center data and his user behaviors, and then we will then go ahead and implement it. We will analyze the data and show. At the end of the month, we will analyze all the data and give it. Alright, so that is us.
All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Nice job. So around the clock, why don't you come on up? You guys stay here for just a minute while they're setting up. We're going to see if any of the judges have a question or two for you. Anybody? Because it looks like it comes out with shot. You need him to set up. But he's going to present. Yeah, that's what set up. Okay, so you're ready? Okay.
So what we did is we generated some data. So our model is definitely flawed, but I believe that we have good data to
Where's the
She's working on that.
Are you serious, dude? She could not present? No way.
I only have 3 hours.
Let's call her right now, man. Get over here. I can't believe it. She could have been on live YouTube stream. She's famous. Advertising. Homework can be put aside sometimes.
Our computer was messing up like for past years. Yeah, so I was just, that's what this takes place.
You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. All right, this time, guys. So while he's setting up his video, next up is Juliol's restaurant. Restaurant and boring, I'm sorry. No, that's not this is I'm used to all the
Do it. See if that sounds better. You know what? My sound is echoing so much it might be better. You probably have direct sound, so it's better. My computer picks up everything. How's the sound now? Hold on. Let me check. Don't forget I'm live in the delays a minute. I think it's coming good. Okay. If you could hear it good, it should pick me up. Did you plug the mic in? Yes. Is it stereo? Oh, yeah. It's good stereo. Mono to stereo is still mono. It's like USB 3 to USB 2. Pull the mic closer. You see? Pull the mic closer. Like that. A little closer.
So let Tom know when you're ready, and then he'll tell you no. Give me a second. You give him a second, Tom.
Are you ready? Yes. Ready, set, go.
Hi guys, we are round the clock. Now, let's introduce our user. This is a family of 4, an average American family of 4. Introducing Lily, her mother Rose, and her daughter, I don't know, I forgot her name. All right, so the problem is, Rose is getting on in her years. And as she's getting older and older, it's getting harder for her to live normally without external assistance. But the key part is external assistance on a 24/7 basis is very expensive. It is hard for an average American family with an income of $4,900 per month to afford a bill of $4,000 per month just for external assistance for one member of their family without Medicaid support. And that is the situation, unfortunately, in the country today. Introducing Round the Clock. We're a modern system that enables families to monitor and assist relatives with health challenges in need of round-the-clock care. Our solution? It's very simple. We're a smart home solution that enables families to monitor relatives from a distance while keeping in touch the personal touch of a family member. We start with a sensor mesh network. We detect entrances and exits of the family member who's in need of care. We detect their vitals using a pendant system that incorporated into the OSA systems to track it. Now, it also detects potential falls so that when they fall, it would immediately send a message to the family members, and it will also send a message to the emergency services saying, hey, this person fell down, they need help. Behavioral learning, we're employing another neural network here again. So it learns, we spend 30 days with the family and the member who needs our care to analyze their behavioral patterns, to learn how they act on a normal day-to-day basis. Once we've established a normal, any abnormal behavior will be reported as abnormal and calls will be sent to family members and emergency services. It also comes with a panic button, a simple big red panic button that the family member in need of care can press so that if they feel like they need care, they can get it on an instant basis. Our solution will come with a initial setup fee of $500, refundable deposit, 30-day training period, and $1,000 per month cost. This is a drastic difference from the current $4,000 cost that families have to pay to take care of their family members in need of assistance. We're using Appidate's network and the BOSA network for safety, security, and helping you keep your family safe today. With that, we're going to the demo. Technical difficulties, give us a quick second.
All right, so unfortunately I was a solo programmer. I only really had 3 hours to get everything together, but we've emulated what would be the dashboard. So we didn't have access to the actual sensors that we thought we would, but so what would happen is once the family is set up and once the home is set up and everything is trained, you would get access to the dashboard and you would simply log in. Right? I took off validation. So what would happen is there would be a live update. So throughout the entire period, we're going to show you how, whenever someone's in the home, let's say your grandma, there's been no activity detected, right? The sensors will send an update to the network, which will update your live feed so that you know, hey, I need to go and check in on my family member. I'm not sure if something's happening, all right? And so next, what will happen is, let's say a potential fall happened, that updates the entire system. So this way what happens is we have the ability for you to call automatically to connect to your family member and check on them, also simulate video so that you can video call, but we also have emergency text because you will want to update the rest of your family members if there is an incident that happened. Lastly, we have the panic button at 911. With the VoIP, they have access to call 911 with an automated script. We'll utilize that XML to automatically call 911 and provide them with the emergency for the address, the name, so that way emergency services can get there on time, and then they can call you and fill you in on details. That is all.
All right. So in the future, we plan to add vital monitoring systems to our tracker so that you'd be able to maintain and track the vital signs. And in case they dip, we can immediately send text to loved ones. And if they dip drastically, we can immediately send messages to them. With that, let's make America safer for families again.
Nice job, guys. Stand over to the side for a minute, and we'll see if the judges have any questions. While they're doing that, we need Jimmy Jalil's Restaurant Emporium. I actually got it right the first time there. So.
If anybody knows about the restaurant, it's this man right here. Hey, let's go for some Giordano's afterwards. Or are you sick of that? Sick of that word? Yeah, take some shots. Set up here, audience. Put it right there to ground.
Oh, it had one already? There?
That's display color.
Yeah. Right now, my lap is on fire. He left out too hot. You cook it ain't on this. I don't know why Ellen puts that aside. How are you? Good. Are you okay? Hey, thanks a lot. One more time? One more time. Okay, one more time. One more time. All right. All right. There we go. And tell me to finish up the film. Give me life. Just leave it alone. I volunteer my services. I do very often. ITM. Yes, yes, sir. Carol, Yes, my brother's also a degree here, teaches about basic Wow. Yeah, I started building the program. We should get together, you know? Yeah. With the joy and unity, teaching together. Yes. What's your name? Yeah, Jim. Papa Davis. Papa Davis, like father of the people. Father of the people. It's Greek. There you go. You got a point.
This is.
I know. That's CSU.
Are you guys ready?
Hard things learned at CSU.
Okay. We're almost ready. All right, quiet everybody.
Here,
Let Tom know and Bill will signal you to start.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Ready, set, go. Hello, we are Jimmy Jalil's Restaurant Emporium. I'm Barry, this is Jimmy, Greg, Kia, and Daryl. And we're going to show you about the restaurant concept that we've come up with to show you. It is a restaurant that allows you to order by text. Instead of calling in your order, placing it online, you can do everything through text message system. And it's the best seafood, fast food, and vegan food in town. And this is a sample of what our menu is going to look like. We have seafood, fast food, vegan, with different items in every category. And we use the functionalities in the telesign API of inbound and outbound SMS messages, and also the payment gateway from HSend Mobile. And I'm going to bring on Jimmy to tell you how it all works.
Now, we understand that you can order by walking in and order. You can order by getting on the phone and then using the computer website to order. Or you can order by calling. But there needs to be ordering by SMS as well, just because even though the internet exists, libraries still exist. As such, that gap needs to be filled, and we at Jimmy Jalil's Restaurant Emporium decided to have built it. We have created a system where you order using your cell phone, and then you when they take your phone number at the cash register. And take your card. They remember your card if you allow them to, and then you just pay with a code over the phone, or you use HSendGrid's payment gateway to pay over SMSs, and boom, you have paid. And this is just the way of doing it, where you send a text message to them using the telesigns technology, and then what happens is you, of course, receive a welcome message. The menu options you may want to choose, you pick one. Once you decide what you get one of those menu options you saw earlier, and that's how you order from SMS alone. So sometimes you don't want to go to a website. You just want to order from SMS. Sometimes you don't want to call, but you also don't want to use the internet. So it needs to be convenient on every level. So I have a demo for you.
I like that shirt. All right. It's a code. Visual Basic.
I am about to receive a text message. I'm sending just an order, sending the order text. I'm ordering from the cell phone number. And now I received the text message back. I know it's very small, but I received the text message back. It's a brand new text message. And this text message is in English. And I just want to hit 1, 2, 3, or 4 to order. And that's how you do it. I want me to laugh. So you go through the process of just hitting buttons Then you type in your access code and you order through SendGrid, SendGrid, or you order just through a process where they take your phone number and your credit card and they register you at the restaurant. And now, instead of just being three ways, call the website or go there yourself, you can text the order as well, because we need all levels of that technology existing. And we, of course, did not have a SendGrid payment system implemented fully, but we did go into a SendGrid, and we had no time. We would have had it set up so that we could do that too. But we did set up the telesign, partially required the telesign menu system. And we want you to know that we want you to order right now from Jimmy Jalil's restaurant floor. Say something.
Well done, guys. Step over to the side for a minute. We'll see if the judges have any questions. As they're doing that, MMX, you're up next.
I like the first
Hey, guys.
See, I don't think that now it's what's favors in your opposition.
Sorry.
All right, next job, guys.
Okay. All right, quiet, guys. Up next is MMX. Just let Tom know when you're ready, and then we'll signal you to start.
Are you ready? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We're here to present some new technology that will solve a social problem. Healthcare is the most valuable problem that can be solved in the 21st century. However, what we see is present a potential solution in heterogeneous telecommunication in order to coordinate care. So basically, the modern medicine consists of basically, instead of going to the hospital to get care, you stay in your own place, in your own home, you'll be able to access better care minus the pathogen that you get and the excessive cost that's going to come out of your pocket, that potentially you're not going to get care. It's only disease management versus. So what we're presenting today is a potentially coordinated wearables with specific instrumentation that relates to extract a potential biomarkers to understand disease origination, disease behavior, in order to personalize a treatment with some form of precision. So harvesting those particular data, we opted for WebRTC real-time communication to utilize a number of features that potentially would serve to coordinate continuum of care. So that's so we came up with our own device that will be able to harvest a tremendous amount of data to understand erythrocytes. All we need is a 0.2 milliliters of fluid, so we can analyze what is out of the box in the bloodstream. So practically, it would show the next picture. Basically, bloodstream 80% is water, but 20% is tremendous amount of information. Not that many people are able to correlate and set a level of differentiation from structural biology standpoint. So to integrate all this information plus heart rate variabilities, respiratory variabilities, among other biomarkers, so we can include that, utilize advanced machine learning and deep learning algorithms to personalize and send or prevent catastrophes from occurring. If we can capture a disease from level 0 to level 3 minus 2, towards the dimensional time, we can reverse any disease, literally. We can render also systems efficiency and understanding what is aging. Aging is a misunderstood problem. Ladies and gentlemen, 21st century, people should be able to live to 128, fully functional, mentally, physically, and affectively fine, and enjoy life versus, becoming handicapped at 65, aches and pains that progresses in multiple diseases. So we needed to coordinate that, but basically what we see as it is today, it has a glitch. It's written, it's on in Linux ecosystem, it cannot operate under heterogeneous machines, heterogeneous systems. So we need a little bit of work, but I think it's a privilege to really work with engineers and devote technical / money, whatever necessary, to make it a viable solution in 21st century. Thank you.
It's
and in the platform on robot PC to do the two-way communication, we have to get the robot PC to function immediately. We wanted to be but we couldn't
no.
Okay. Patient after interaction. Yes. Yeah. That's what we're doing.
Okay. Unplug this a little bit. Just you can take you can plug it. Right. It's okay. Pause. What happened?
No, unfortunately.
I would love to and Gustavo, who's all over the place. Yeah, you better believe it.
And let's go ahead and get set up.
Attorney at law. Where was the first producer of this nation? Before, first record deal, I'm gonna see you. You know about anytime you hear it's no, I mean, oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. The right back is
Otherwise, oh, the first is my email?
Yes, yes. Okay. I like that blockchain, so I'm sure too.
Get ready for the last one. Gets ready. All right, signal the top when you're ready, and he will tell you when to start.
Are you ready?
I'm very ready.
Okay, quiet on set.
Quiet.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, so my name is Will Brickner. This is
Danny.
hold on.
Danny Cedric.
Okay, so our project for this year's hackathon is Tech Buddy. So here's a very common problem that we see in the engineering fields, right? Do you have terrifying, unrecognized genius, right? Are you to your peers as a human being is to a dog in terms of intelligence, right? So around the world, millions of professionals, they struggle every day with this unrecognized, pure, raw power that exists inside their minds, and there's no way for them to relate to other human beings, right? Because they're so intelligent. And so, the final solution to this problem has been invented today at this hackathon. What you need is a blank buddy. It's a 4-letter word. Let you figure it out. The Tech Buddy. Hot, talented tech professionals are waiting to talk to you today. You speak to them, they will know exactly what you mean, what you're talking about. The whole time. And it's free. So what we did is we have one of these sponsors, API Days. It's a voice over IP API where you can send, or you make a call to the phone number, and the phone number, and then they send me a request, and my server gets the request with the unique session ID and some other information, and then I can ask them for their skill level, and they'll respond that to me. I'll put that into a little database, a little cache, and then when I get a new call, I can ask, does a skill level that is exactly the same exist? And if that's true, then I'll connect them, and they can talk for as long as they want, and I don't have to deal with it anymore. It all exists outside of my control. And periodically we'll check and see, hey, how can we put two people with very similar skill levels together? But there's some level of sophistication to it as well. What happens is basically, if they wait a certain amount of time, we don't want to keep them waiting. So we'll match them with someone who's close, but we'll prefer to match them with someone who's a little bit more skilled than less skilled to go with the theme of the project, right? And so there are a couple of bugs, internal bugs to the API Days API, unfortunately. So
The core piece of functionality does not work. You cannot connect two people together for this app, but we can demonstrate to you what does work. I'd also like to mention that I got here with an hour and a half to work, and this is what we've created, so I'm pretty proud of that. But yeah, if you want to do a demo. Okay, so I'll call the number. Danny will call the number. I'll put it on speaker.
You want to match everyone with someone at their skill level. Press 1 if you identify as a novice, and 9 if you identify as an expert.
All right, I'll pick 5. I think you should pick 5 so it works. And okay, so it hangs out because I send a request to something that doesn't exist, and so it throws an exception, and so it ends the call. But what's supposed to happen is that Denton and I, regardless of how far apart we are, we're connected, and then we can bond over our shared genius. But yeah, that's it. I think I finished with this.
Okay, so that's all. We're gonna let you guys answer a question or two, and then the judges are gonna have them, but that's all of it. So, judges, do you have any questions for anybody?
Question.
Yeah.
To